I don't care who you are. Stay out of this.
You should care. Because I own the company you work for.
My boss, Carolyn Blake,
And you're
was a
fired.
bully. Not the schoolyard kind, but the corporate kind, dressed in expensive suits and armed with a condescending smirk. She masked it as leadership, but we all knew the truth. She needed to be the center of every room, and she crushed anyone she saw as weak. Unfortunately, that included my husband, Aaron. He's the opposite of her. Quiet, thoughtful, the kind of man who fixes a wobbly chair before you even notice it's broken. To Carolyn, his silence was a weakness, and she loved to exploit weakness. The night it all went wrong started with the worst idea I ever agreed to. A team bonding dinner at my house, she insisted. I didn't want to lose my job, so I said, yes, and I've regretted it ever since. Aaron was amazing. He spent the whole day helping me clean and cook. He even joked, if she wants to judge our furniture, I'll just tell her it's minimalist chic. He had no idea how cruel she could be. When Carolyn arrived, her eyes scanned our home like an inspector looking for violations. Well, she said, her tone dripping with disdain, this is cute. Cute meant cheap. She looked my husband up and down. Oh, you're Claire's husband? You look different than I imagined. Aaron just smiled politely. Throughout dinner, she criticized everything, the plates, the lighting, even Aaron's special roast chicken. A bit bland, she announced loudly. But I suppose this is what you get when you're married to a simple man. I was burning with anger, but Aaron stayed calm. Then she crossed the line. So, Aaron, she said, swirling her wine, what is it you do again? Something small? He replied, I own a garage. Repairs, restorations. She cut him off with a laugh. A garage? Oh, that's adorable. Claire, you never told us your husband was blue-collar. She said the word like it was a disease. Then came the final blow. You know, she announced to the whole table, men like Aaron are good for housework. But Claire, someone like you should be aiming much higher. I expected Aaron to snap. Instead, he just calmly stood up and asked if anyone needed a refill. Carolyn smirked, thinking she'd won. She had no idea who she was dealing with. Later that night, I apologized over and over. Aaron just held me and said, don't worry. People like her always fall, and when they do, it's loud. I didn't understand what he meant, not yet. 2 weeks later, Aaron showed up at my office. As we were walking to the elevator, Carolyn appeared. Oh, look, she said loudly. Claire's handyman husband came to fix something. A few of my coworkers nervously laughed. Aaron turned slowly, his expression calm but deadly. Actually, he said, I'm here for your meeting with the partners. They asked me to join. Carolyn was confused. Why would you be in that meeting? He pulled out a sleek folder. Because they hired my company. We're overseeing the renovation of all 8 corporate buildings, she laughed, disbelieving. Impossible. We hired Weston Engineering. Aaron just tilted his head. I own Weston Engineering. The color drained from her face. My husband, the man who hated bragging, had quietly built a massive engineering firm and never mentioned it. Carolyn stammered, why didn't Claire ever mention? Aaron's voice was soft but cut like glass. Because she's not the type to embarrass people. Unlike you. Just then, the partners walked out of the conference room and greeted Aaron like an old friend. He turned to Carolyn one last time. In the renovation project, I choose which departments get priority upgrades and which get delayed. Her eyes widened in horror. He added gently, and considering how you treat people, your department will be last. The partners said nothing. They didn't have to. Carolyn had lost all her power. She resigned 2 weeks later. That night, I hugged Aaron and told him he didn't have to protect me like that. He just kissed my forehead and said, I didn't protect you. I showed her the truth. Strength doesn't roar, Claire. Sometimes it walks in quietly and destroys people who mistake kindness for weakness. And he was right. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories.